St. Louis, Missouri. On the banks of the Missouri and Mississippi rivers, this great city is known for the Arch, beer, baseball, and most importantly, its food. Emo's Pizza. When you think of food staples in St. Louis, Emo's is always the first place that comes to mind. But how has the Square Beyond Compare impacted St. Louis? How did Emo's establish itself as a St. Louis staple? Ed and Margie Emo founded Emo's Pizza in 1964 right outside the Hill neighborhood in St. Louis. To increase the demand for their pizzas, Ed and Margie Emo utilized the delivery of pizzas and their St. Louis famous Provel cheese. As the demand for Emo's Pizza increased, more and more locations were opened, more items were added to their menu, and eventually, a distribution center was built. Nowadays, the 6 children of Ed and Margie Emo are running the business. I was able to have Kelly Emo, the wife of Emo's president Carl Emo, show me the Emo's headquarters and distribution facility. The Emo's campus consists of a restaurant, a warehouse, a gift shop, and offices.
Good, how are you? Good. Daniel!
Howdy!
How are you? Good, nice to see you.
Kelly Emo decided to begin our tour in the Emo's restaurant. She is setting up for an interview with KMOV, a local television station in St. Louis. This is one of many ways Emo's gives back to their city.
So way back when in 1964, when Mr. and Mrs. Emo did start the business, it was very localized in terms of who came to help out, who came to work. So it was literally friends and family who helped build this business. And because of that, we have continually given back to the community because friends and family are friends and family now in the business. And food feeds everybody. Food is a community, family sort of sharing event. So it is from that we realize we still need to be centered and invest.
We are now headed to get an exclusive tour of the distribution facility.
He knows more about this. He knows every nook and cranny, and he can tell you way more about the operation side than I can.
Okay.
He can tell you what all this is here.
Well, looks like bacon.
See? All of that is bacon.
I think so.
Wow. This is all bacon.
Bacon's one of the biggest.
Bacon's my favorite.
On the pizzas? You're in good company. Lots of people like our bacon pizzas, and the reason is I think we use full strips of bacon instead of bacon bits on our pizzas, and they get really crispy because we put them on top of them.
Yeah.
So we go through.
I get a truckload of bacon every 2 weeks.
So when he says a truckload, he means a semi truckload of bacon. So times that by 12 months. Wow, it's a lot of bacon.
A lot of bacon.
That means warehouse morning shifts start at what time?
I mean, Mel gets here at 3 o'clock in the morning to get things organized. So early.
Early day.
Some of the pickers are coming in about 5:30 to get the produce ready and start pulling everything out. Then about 6:30 the drivers are showing up. Pull up their truck.
Everything sounds very efficient.
Yeah, this morning is organized chaos.
It's a delicate dance. So this is the freezer.
Well, the freezer is the next
Well, the
one.
next one over, yeah.
This is the main where we pick refrigerated items. So like you say, it walks us through the warehouse. used to be one up actually. They
Did it?
moved the down one. That's so they can just come around without having to come back.
That's fine.
Dressings that are made down in Waterloo. And this is the freezer.
Right now, it's too freaking cold. Got pork on.
0 degrees. Chicken, French fries, fried ravioli, roast beef on this.
Yeah.
And I really do believe that because all of our families are from here, we are staying in the city. You know, with all of its troubles, we're still investing in the city because we believe in it and it has supported us so long, so well, that we're gonna keep being here. It is. It's. I mean, that is who we are. We really are. I mean, even though we're expanding outside the area, this is our core. This is where the people who started in the business early on literally lived and still live. And so we're committed. We're committed to staying, and we're not leaving or running or anything. We're put our feet down and stay.
Hey, we're posted up here at Emo's. We're about to get an exclusive interview with Kelly Emo herself. As we were setting up for the interview, we got a surprise appearance from the man himself, the president of Emo's, Carl Emo. And he was happy to sit down with me and answer a few of my questions about Emo's Pizza and their long-lasting relationship with the city of St. Louis. What would, like, St. Louis pizza, St. Louis style pizza, what would be considered St. Louis style pizza? Like, what's everything you would need to call a pizza St.
I
Louis?
mean, it's a thin crust, cracker crust. I mean, our sauce is more, it's not a sweet sauce, it has more tang to it. The Provel cheese, fresh ingredients, fresh ground sausage.
Yeah.
And the true version is, bacon is strip bacon,
Yeah.
not bacon bites or.
Yeah.
It's all
We just talked
bacon.
about that, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a big difference. And so that would be a true version of St. Louis style pizza.
So how did Emo's trademark kind of the square beyond compare?
Well, that was just an advertising campaign, but from day one, we always cut our pizzas in square. Yeah.
Was there a reason for that?
Well, there's a funny story. It's kind of true, kind of folklore.
Yeah.
But I mentioned that his dad was a tile setter, so all day he would be on the floor setting tile and tiles in squares.
Yeah.
So the legend has become that they cut the pizzas at night in squares because that's what Mr. Emo had done all day.
Oh, that's
It's laid squares. So it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek story. It fits well and it's
yeah.
cute.
But the real story is this type of product with cheese, you couldn't do. I mean, if you did a slice, you picked it up, it all slide right off.
Yeah.
It just becomes with the product that you use and the fresh ingredients with grease, with the grease from the raw sausage and the bacon and everything, that if you did it in slices, it'll come right off. It's a better product cut in squares.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And also at the time, there were a lot of corner restaurants, sort of little bar, mom and pop restaurants, and the pizzas were cut in squares. It was just kind of a local thing.
Yeah, and even some were made rectangular and put on. A lot of them did it on sheet pans. They rolled the dough and made it in sheet pans.
Because the dough was fresh, so if you make dough, you pat it out, and it can be all different shapes and sizes. So it was just sort of a local custom anyway to cut in squares. But we like to tell that story because it's really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people on the hill and they used to make their pizzas on the sheet pans, put it in the
Yeah.
oven, and they were rectangles, so it just made sense to go 2 and then 4 and then you end up with your squares. And so we just pushed that to the round crust.
Yeah. So what has changed the most since Emo's was founded?
Same product. We still same crust, quality products, but I would say we are more volume based. Or before when we originally started, we'd do about 50 pizzas, and then it went to 75, then it went to 100. But we are, we became a St. Louis tradition,
Yeah, yeah.
St. Louis product. With that comes more volume. So what we had to change is to adjust to be able to service the people and the demand. With that came, the old Baker Prides with the stone ovens. We had to go more efficient, faster, almost. But the end product is pretty much close to the same. There's a slight difference to the old Baker Pride ones. You get a little like seasoned. You have a seasoned oven, so you get a little older flavors with that, which I kind of miss.
Yeah, I do too. The ovens we have now are on conveyor belts, so they move themselves. You don't have to stick a paddle in there and turn the pizza. It's not as handcrafted in terms of you don't have to babysit it as much.
Yeah.
So you lose a little bit of that, but the product itself is still extremely similar. I mean, recipes are the same,
Yep.
sauces are the same, our dough is pretty much the same, and we stick with what the people in the communities want and what they like, and what, like we said over there, what the traditions have become.
Mhm.
So that's what keeps us moving forward, and that's what drives the volume, is that our consistency is still there. So, your age group, your parents are probably our age, and they were raised on it probably if they're from
Yeah.
here, and maybe even your grandparents. So that's 3 generations of people that have enjoyed the same product, literally. So, we keep it the same because that's what everybody wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Like when I started, we used to get the pounds of bacon, the raw bacon, and we used to put it in the trays, and we used to put it in the deck ovens and cook it and have to turn it and bubble it. And now bacon comes pre-cooked.
Yeah,
So there's it's just, we're just more efficient.
yeah, I get that. So, obviously Emos has moved outside of St. Louis a bit,
Mhm.
so how do they promote, how does Emos promote like the unique St. Louis style pizza outside of St. Louis?
That is a great question. That's a really good question. Well, what we hope to do is, like we just talked about, consistency is really important to us because we know what everybody likes and we know what works. So we don't want to change our product to match a community. We would like to introduce the specialness and the quality of our product into a new community. So one of the things we're trying to do is, because now we have the ability to create Emo's frozen pizzas, we are going to try to open our taste and our market in other places using the frozen pizzas first in retail to see, kind of test the temperature of that area, see if they like it, if it's a flavor profile they would want to see more of. And if that is sort of successful, then we'd like to move in with a brick and mortar store or more of a restaurant style store. So Provel has and is earning a name outside of St. Louis, for better or worse. Sometimes people love it, sometimes people don't, but if nothing else, they're interested. So that's good for us. We don't want to just all of a sudden start opening up restaurants like outside of the area or in different states and just see what happens. That's not a good business model. So we're going to go ahead and try with our retail and some of our frozen products. And luckily our following is so loyal and our word of mouth advertising is so strong that we hope that it'll be a good slow introduction into markets.
Okay, so I think we talked about this a while in the headquarters, but what does the city of St. Louis mean to Emos? So, like,
Well, I'll answer that one. I mean, we started in 1964. I mean, we started with nothing, but my parents. But the city of St. Louis, they kind of accepted us, and if it wasn't for the city of St. Louis, the loyalty that they have, we wouldn't be where we're at today. So, like even. And in return, like what we did is, we had our headquarters in the county up 6 years ago. We felt we should come back to the city and thank the city, so that's why we moved down here. We made the city of St. Louis our headquarters, our distribution center, our manufacturing facility, and we're just looking to return the favor of the people of St. Louis to us. And I mean, city of St. Louis means everything to us. I mean, it's where I grew up. My parents grew up.
we're vested in the city with, like I said earlier, with all of the, the things that the city's dealing with, that many cities are dealing with. It's important to keep the positive in the forefront, and being here, keeping a big facility like this, employing people in the city, it all sort of works together to move the city forward.
And we can honestly say we're in every single neighborhood in the city. A lot of chains come in and go, I don't want to go there, I don't want to go there. We're in every single neighborhood. Well, I mean, we are, I don't want to take the tagline from Louis Fuse, we are St. Louis, but I mean, that's their tagline, but we are in every neighborhood of St. Louis, so I'll extend from that.
Yeah, that is true, and people have their memories of specific emos because that's where they went as a child, or that's where their memories are,
Yeah.
and a lot of those places are still in those locations.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, how does Emos give back to St. Louis?
Well, kind of what we talked about over the air this morning, we've been involved with local charities, and that is our thing. We want to choose charities and organizations that are St. Louis based, that the dollars that are raised stay here. And years ago, Carl's mom partnered with Variety, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with them, but they provide services, experiences, and actual hardware for children in the St. Louis area that are physically, mentally disabled. And we go back 20 plus years, 22, 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
And in the older days when fundraising was different, we would host charity walks, and we would bring product, and it would be, a donation sort of thing. And now we have, almost an entire week we're doing of Emos Day for kids, for Variety Kids. And this year we're doing a $50,000 donation match. And we just think that it's really important that we keep those dollars here in St. Louis for these families. Some of these families have family members who work at Emos. So that's a big one. And then more recently, we partnered with Habitat for Humanity St. Louis, the local chapter. We put a team together every year of Emos team members. We go and we actually build the house, work on the build, and have a great day doing that. And that's a really rewarding experience for us because, again, it's only St. Louis. The dollars go there and they stay there, and we get to actually see the houses where they are. And then something that's close to my heart is Stray Rescue right down the street here. We think that even the four-legged members of our community are important to us, and we've done a lot of sponsoring with them and fundraising with them. So I think it's just important that we keep our dollars local. During the pandemic, we did a lot of donations to area hospitals, to police stations, to all the frontline workers who were there, having to go work.
And we teamed up with John Hamm, Jason Tatum, Bradley Beal, we team up with the people here from St. Louis. They all like to give back too, and those are the people we like to team up with.
How do you team up with them?
It's kind of fun. They reach out to us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, John Hamm does it on his own, Bradley Beal, Jason. I mean, all these guys, they love St. Louis too, and they associate, and they love our product.
Yeah.
And they associate, when they leave, they associate, people say Emos Pizza or like Ted Drew's. Yeah. And they like to associate themselves with home. And so they reach out to us.
Oh, wow.
That's
great.
And that's the kind of thing that, those are big names, but that's the kind of thing that I think does make us special in terms of how we give back to the community, because those big names, this is still home. I mean, these are people who have made worldwide successes, and they still like to call St. Louis their home. So we're thrilled to be a part of that.
My time at Emos has now come to an end. Carl is now taking me to see his office. After my visit to Emos Pizza, I now realize why they have such an impact on St. Louis. Like I discussed with Kelly earlier, the people of St. Louis helped grow Emos into what it is today. Emos Pizza impacted St. Louis because the people of St. Louis impacted Emos Pizza. Thank you, and God bless.